Hello everyone, welcome to another segment of intellectual brainstorming and academic excellence. My name is David Oni and my YouTube channel is Great Mindset. If you have been following my lectures, if you have been following my teachings, you will agree with me that it has actually been beneficial, it has actually been advantageous, and a lot of people are actually gaining a lot of things by watching my videos. Today, I'm going to talk about something different, something that will benefit your life, something that is going to be of immense, indispensable benefit to you. And I'll be talking about those things that they never tell you about money. You see, when you're talking about money, there are a lot of things that you don't know about money, and there are a lot of informations or ideas or principles or dynamics on how money actually works in the society. Because of our level of financial education, most of us are not aware of this information, and that's why in this topic I'll be talking about those things that they will not want you to know about money. You see, a lot of people actually earn a lot of money in the course of their career, but unfortunately most of them actually or ended as being broke or as being financially downtrodden. And this trend or this pattern or this perspective is actually totally unacceptable. So, in this topic, I'll be talking about those things that will actually help you in order to guide against being financially broke despite your long years of what of service in working, and at the end of the day you could not be able to show for it. So you need to prevent these things from actually happening to you at the end of the day. You see, despite the huge amount of money that a lot of people actually make, at the end of the month, at every 30 days or 31 days, they get paid up in their office, and they're actually paid a huge or gargantuan amount of money. But unfortunately, they end up being financially with nothing. They end up financially with nothing or nothing to show for what they're actually working for. So in our society, great examples actually exist. So what we're saying here is that it's not actually a mirage or a fiction or something that's actually fictitious, or we're trying to fabricate or generate a story, but the examples are bound in our societies of celebrities, of people that are actually popular that ended up with nothing in the society. But this case should not be our case, and that is why we need to know those things about money, those things that they will not want you to know about money. You see, a lot of people actually appear to be rich, they appear to be affluent, they appear to be wealthy, but unfortunately, they actually live in what? In greater debt. They actually swim in the tsunami of debt. They are actually or gravely, indebted to a lot of microfinance bank, to a lot of banks, to a lot of buy now, pay later, easy buy, credit cards, and the rest of them, and they live in debt on daily basis. In other words, when you actually see them, you actually come across them because of their exorbitant cars, because of their luxurious cars, because of the apartment they actually live in, maybe in a three-bedroom flat or a bungalow or a duplex or whatsoever. They appear to be rich, but unfortunately, if you look down deep into such people, you discover that a lot of them are actually paying debt at one time or the other. So based on this scenario and these circumstances, it poses a great questions about what's actually money. You see, you need to ask yourself, what is actually money? This is because a great deal of our actions are based on the need to acquire money. We all wanted money, both the poor, the rich, everybody in the society actually wanted money, both in those in the higher class, those in the lower class, or those in the middle class. Everybody actually wanted their money. But unfortunately, if all wishes were horses, all beggars will ride. But unfortunately, this money cannot be equitable. There is no equilibrium distribution of money. Just the same way we don't have equilibrium distribution of resources in the society. Why some have, some do not have. So majority of people, live and dream to acquire money in their life. Nobody wants to actually be poor. Nobody wants to be opoloi. Nobody wants to be downtrodden. Nobody wants to live in poverty. We all actually wanted money, but unfortunately, the money is not equitable. it is not evenly distributed. So debt is actually an invisible burden carried by most vulnerable people in the society. So those people that actually think that they're actually rich, those that actually see that they live a luxurious life, they have expensive cars, they live, extravagant life. You see, most of them actually live in debt because debt is actually an invisible burden. You cannot see it. So it's actually carried by most people that are actually vulnerable. And who are those that are actually vulnerable? When you're talking about people that are actually vulnerable, you're talking about people that are actually indebted in one way or the other, that they actually find themselves, having to pay money, having to pay this, having to pay that. Actually need to understand what money is to have a deeper understanding of the dynamics of money, because money is actually dynamic. Then the question most people say, or what most people actually say in society, is that money is evil, money is a taboo, money is something that it should not be a priority in life. But I'm still going to discuss about that. You see, the question is, does money come and go into your life? Are you the kind of a person that once you earn that money, you spend the money, immediately, or you are the type that actually saves the money, or you are actually the type that actually invests your money? So, number one, are you the type that when money comes into your life, it actually leaves your life immediately? Don't forget, if you have actually been watching my video, there was a topic I did some time ago about 3 classes of people in the society. I talked about those that actually invest the money, and those that actually spend the money immediately, and those that actually use the money to afford sophisticated goods. And I categorized them into 3 classes. I said in every society we have 3 classes of people. You have the lower class. Once the lower class, or those that find themselves in the lower class, have money in their hand, they spend the money immediately. While those that are actually in the middle class, once they get the money immediately, they use it to maintain their lifestyle. They use that money to actually buy those things they actually wanted in their life. And those people are actually in the middle class. Then you have those that actually invest the money. Those that belong to this category are those in the upper class. So the question is, are you in the lower class, are you in the middle class, or you are actually in the higher class? So the decision is actually just to decide at the end of the day. Money actually places most people, or most of us, in what we call vulnerable positions in life, and if care is not taken, money will begin to control us. So you have to be very careful when you are actually talking about the issue or dealing with the issue of money, because sometimes money controls most of us, and the reverse is actually supposed to be the case. Do you understand now? We are supposed to be controlling money and not money controlling us. So our perception, the way we think about money, is actually very, very important than our ability to generate that money. So what do you think about money? How do you perceive money? What is your perception about money? So your perception about money will put you in a better position to understand better the dynamics of money and how to actually generate this money. So in other words, we're saying that it's more important to understand the dynamics of money and also how to generate this money. You see, our brains are actually wired to make us not to be financially sensible and responsible. Not to be financially sensible and responsible. What do I mean by that? Human beings, we always desire one thing or the other in life, and we have this insatiable urge for whatever we do. And because of the fact that we have this insatiable urge for whatever we do, we discover that in most cases we spend our monies on liabilities and not assets. Not those things that can actually generate money for us, but those that can actually create a hole in our pocket at the end of the day. So a lot of people are actually disconnected from money, and at the end of the day they have nothing to show for it. This scenario is further complicated by lack of financial education, and that is why I've always been emphasizing on financial education. For you to be able to understand the dynamics of money, you need to have financial education. Now the question is, what is money? You see, money is actually a medium of exchange that facilitates the sales, purchase, or trade between people or among people. So money is actually a medium of exchange. It actually facilitates trade. It actually facilitates sales. It actually facilitates purchase. And when you have this kind of a scenario among 2 or more people, you say that there's actually an exchange of money between those people. So money is actually a medium of exchange, but unfortunately, money is actually more than this. Money is an expression of value. Do you see? Money is actually an expression of value where market plays what I call an important role. Do you get it now? So apart from the fact that we say that money is actually what a medium of exchange, money is also an expression of value, and the market determines the value of what of money. And what is this market? The forces of demand and the supply. So in other words, money is actually equal to what? To value. So if you talk about money, money is equal to value. So a lot of people will say that money is the root of all evil, money is a taboo, that money is actually exploitative in nature, that money actually makes man to dominate another man, that money is not a necessity. But I'm telling you today that for you to be able to live in this century, this millennium, this period, this time, you need money to facilitate a lot of things in your life. You should know that money actually creates what I call a value, and not making people to be evil. So the conception, the idea, the information that money is actually evil is actually a misinterpretation and misinformation. So you must actually understand this pattern and this dynamic. So money creates a value. So if you actually wanted value, if you want to create value for yourself, they actually need their money. So money actually opens option and broadens our horizon in terms of making choices in life. So money is actually an option. It gives you an option of what you actually want in life, and also broadens on your horizon in terms of of making decisions or making choices in life. So money will actually come and live in your life. You must understand that money will come into your life and live your life. This is actually expressed by what you earn and how you actually spend. So what I'm talking about here is your income and your expenses. So money will come in form of an income, in form of a value, and money will live your life in form of an expenses. Do you understand now? So you cannot escape this universal phenomenon of money coming into your life and money living in your life. So money must come in and money must live your life. Now the question is, when money comes into your life, how do you spend the money? What is your expenses? How do you dispense the money? How do you treat the money? Do you use the money positively, or do you use the money negatively? So money is expressed by your income and your expenses. That is what you earn and what you spend. Do you understand now? So when you are talking about income is what you actually earn, and expenses is what you actually spend at the end of the day. So you can also express this phenomenon by what I call production versus what I call consumption. Production versus consumption. Your production is actually your income. Then your consumption is actually your expenses. Do you understand now? So what you earn is your production. Then what you spend is your consumption. So how well do you spend the money, and how well do you actually produce the money? When money comes as a medium of a value, do you actually spend everything, or you keep some part of this money, or you actually invest the money? So are you the type that actually spend all the money as it comes to you in the lower class or cadre of social stratification, or you are in the middle class that when money comes into your life, you actually use the money to build up yourself and create a phenomenon or a scenario of being rich? Or you're actually one that when the money comes into your life, you actually invest this money? So money enters our life, and when we produce value, you see, money will enter our life when we actually produce a value and what we call services in form of what I call labor, and it will live when we actually spend the money in form of what we call consumption. So in terms of money, money relations, consumption and production is very, very important. So the relationship between production and consumption must be balanced and must be improved. That is, the relationship between what you earn and what you spend must be well balanced and must be well improved. What I'm saying there is that when you earn the money, you should be able to be articulating. You should be able to be prudent. You be resilient. You should have what we call a budget on how you actually want to spend the money that comes in form of what? Of income. And when you are spending the money, what do you do with the money? Do you split the money into three parts? That is spending, investment, and then savings. Do you do that? So you have to be able to balance and improve both of them. So the greatest challenge most people have is in the area of what? Of consumption. Not in the area of what they earn, but in the area of what we call consumption. Because we have this insatiable urge to consume everything every time. Both those things that would actually create values in our life and those that actually does not create values in our life. I'm talking about what? Liabilities and the assets. So do you spend more money on what? On liabilities, or do you spend more money on the asset creation? So our relationship with consumption must be fixed. This problem must be fixed. In other words, it is not everything that you have to buy. You need to learn how to invest your money, not only saving, but also investing your money for the future. This is because a lot of us have problem with what? With consumption. Because of our insatiable urge, we find it very difficult to control our urge because of our human behavioral attitude. We always want to consume everything when we see them, but life is not supposed to be like that. Man must not live by bread alone, but you must invest your money, you must save some part of the money, and you can also spend some part of the money at the end of the day. So you must balance them. It must be balanced and it must be improved. And I always postulate this, maybe at the end of the month, when you earn your money, you can divide it into three parts: spending, savings, and investment. Spending will take 50%, then your savings will take 20%, then your investment should be able to take 30%. And this must be consistent. It must be continuous. It is something that you must continue every time. And what happens when you do not balance your consumption and your production? This will lead you to what I call a rat race. A rat race. It will lead into what I call a rat race. And what is a rat race? It is an endless, self-defeating and pointless pursuit. A rat race is actually an endless, self-defeating and pointless pursuit in their life. So the rat race is actually living from debt to another debt. Finding yourself where you are constantly, continuously, regularly being broke. You understand? Now you don't have money in your pocket. You are always broke all the time. You are actually in what I call a rat race. So it occurs when you find yourself in what I call financial age. So if you are in the rat race, you are actually in a financial age. It is a moment, money enters into your hand and leaves immediately. It is the moment when unforeseen circumstances happens and throw into what we call financial turmoil. At this point, job is not an option, but a necessity to fund your lifestyle and paying of your debt, your gargantuan, huge, insurmountable debt that are actually owing. But you need to put a stop to this problem, to this phenomenon. Now, I will quickly enumerate or explain something that you can actually do, that you can actually correct and put a stop to this financial ulibalo and financial mess or rat race that most people actually find themselves at the end of the day. Now, to actually get out of this unpalatable situation, unfavorable situation, this situation that creates what we call disequilibrium between your consumption and your production, you need to find a balance, like I said, and you need to improve on it. But there's certain things that you can actually do that can take you out of this rat race. Number one, which is a solution. You need to become aware of your relationship with money. You must be aware of your relationship with money. You have a relationship with money, and your relationship with money is that money should not be able to control you, but you should have what? Power over your money. To control your money, you send your money on errand, you tell your money where it actually go, and your money will obey you, rather than what your money actually commanding you. So you must draw what I call a monthly expenses, which I call a budget. You must understand yourself as a consumer, that as a consumer not everything that should be consumed. As a consumer, you must split your money into three parts: savings, investment, and the spending. As a consumer, you must not go for liabilities every time. As a consumer, you must put your money into asset building, into wealth creation, making money to grow for you, making money to actually begin to work for you at the end of the day. Then number two, you must take control over your behavior. As a consumer, you must take over your control. You must be able to control yourself in the area of your behavior as a consumer by using a budget. The reason why most of us find ourselves in this ugly situation is because we don't have a workable budget. We have a budget, but we don't follow the budget. Are you prudent? Are you disciplined when it comes to money? Or you are the one that actually, extravagant, very wasteful, very frugal? You spend money any way you like because you believe that that money will always come to you. But it doesn't work like that. There will be a time the money might not come again. So you must create a budget. You must decide how much you intend to spend and stick to it by living below your means. You must not necessarily live above your income. The reason why most people find themselves in a very tight corner, in a rat race, is because they live above their income. They do not live below their means. They spend more on consumption rather than on production. So consumption supersedes production. But on the other hand, production should supersede consumption, because production will create value for you. Production will create money for you. Production will actually create value and wealth for you at the end of the day. So if you want to be rich, then you must decide that you must have a resilient budgetary allocation on how you actually want to spend your money at the end of the day, and also live below your means. That is, don't be extravagant. This entails having a lifestyle and still being able to invest your money. We're not saying that you should not have a lifestyle, but your lifestyle should be the kind of a lifestyle that you should live below your means. Don't live above your means. Then number three, you must keep an emergency fund. Emergency fund. This will hold, this kind of an emergency fund I'm actually talking about here should be able to keep you for 3 to 6 months if at all you don't have any job again. So you should be able to survive for the next 3 to 6 months if at all you don't have any job again. And that is why savings is very, very important. Every month you must put aside 20% of your earnings on the savings in case of a emergency. However, you could save some money for yourself and avoid this rat race. When you save some money for yourself, it helps you to actually avoid the rat race. It is easier to reduce your expenses than actually to increase your income. You need to understand that it is more easier for you to reduce your expenses. You can actually curtail what you actually consume at the end of the day than increasing your expenses, because increasing your income, because your income is fixed. And if at all your company is going to raise you or increase your salary at the end of the day, there are some static conditions that they must be looking to. But now that you're not getting a salary raise, you are not getting other means of creating what we call multiple streams of income or passive income or cash flow, then you should be able to stick to your budget. Do you understand? By reducing your expenses and other things that will make a change in your life. Then another one, which is number 4, money is equivalent to value in the market. Money is equivalent to value in the market. You need to understand that money is equivalent to value. So to increase your value, you must look for a problem in the market and create what I call a solution to the problem. A lot of us are always complaining, I don't have a job, I don't have this. But there are so many problems that are all around you. All you need to do is to have a feasibility study, to sit down and think. You must have a thinking room where you think about life, you think about how to develop yourself, you think about what the society actually wants and how you could actually create a solution to those societal problems. And when you create a solution to those societal problems, you are creating a value, and that value will create money for you. You sell the solution to the market, because the market will gradually take your value and pay for your value. So through this, your production can actually grow exponentially. It will grow in what I call a multiplier effect, or actually grow in a very big way. So to actually achieve this, you must consider these 2 areas, which I'm going to talk about now. Number 1, entrepreneurship, and number 2 is what I call investment. Entrepreneurship. Now, who is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is actually a business owner. An entrepreneur is someone that owns a business, entity, and develops the business into a larger form. You know, we have most of these companies in America. A lot of them, some are big companies and some are little companies. But to be an entrepreneur, it might require a lot of time, money, resources, and so many other things. But something is more easier for you to do, and that's what we call investment. Investment. You can actually invest your money and make money. So instead of it to actually, since you don't have the financial capacity or the capital or the requirement to actually start a business, you can actually invest into a business and earn what we call capital, and earn what we call value, and earn what we call money, and earn what we call wealth and riches. So there are so many areas that can actually invest your money. You have index funds, you have mutual funds, you have exchange trust funds, you have stocks, you have so many of them that you can actually invest your money into and make money for yourself. This is actually 2024, and I believe we can all make money if you actually decide that you actually want to make money. So it is not actually the time to complain that everything is not working out well for you, because you have all the opportunities around you. It's only for you to think very well and understand the dynamics of money. That money works in a dynamic way in the society, and you must not forget that you are actually in a capitalist society. Capitalism is all about financial education. If you don't have financial education, you might not be able to understand the dynamics of money, and you might not be able to understand that money actually creates a value. So you must have financial education. You must be able to understand what money is and how you can actually use your money or your resources to create value in the society. On this note, I'm going to stop my lecture on what they don't tell you about money. I believe you have actually gained a lot in this topic. If you have actually gained something, please subscribe now. Till we meet next time, I want to say a very big thank you to my returning subscriber. Thank you so much, and God bless you all. And if you're not subscribed, subscribe now. And don't forget to share the video to those people out there that actually in the video. My name is once again David Oni, and my YouTube channel is Greater Mindset, or you can call it David Oni Wiz. All the same, whether David Oni Wiz or Great Myself, is still the same thing. Till I meet you next time, God bless Lagos State, God bless Nigeria, and God bless the world. Thank you, and God bless you. Bye-bye.